Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us for the webinar today. I'm Amrita Roy, application scientist from Advanced Cell Diagnostics, a Bio-Techne brand. Before we begin, I'd like to let everyone know that the audience will be automatically muted for the duration of the webinar. If you have a question, please use the Q&A function to the right of the WebEx window. Please address your questions to all panelists, and my colleagues will respond to your queries in real time. Also, after we finish the webinar, there will be a 30 minutes Q&A session where we will be answering your questions. In the event we are unable to get to your question, we will follow up with you offline after the webinar. This webinar is being recorded and will be on our website soon. For a quick overview of the topics I'll be covering, we will begin with a bird's eye view of RNAscope technology, followed by the RNAscope viral applications. We will also talk about how RNAscope technology is applied for COVID-19 research, and finally discuss the tools and offerings from ACD Bio to support COVID-19 research. An introduction to Advanced Cell Diagnostics, or ACD Bio, which is a brand under the parent biotech corporation Bio-Techne. ACD is a leader in the emerging field of molecular pathology, developing cell and tissue-based research and diagnostic tests. Based in Silicon Valley, ACD's products are built on its proprietary RNAscope technology, the first multiplex in situ hybridization platform capable of detecting and quantifying single molecules of RNA. So what's RNAscope? RNAscope assay is an in situ hybridization technique that utilizes a unique Z target probe design followed by a signal amplification system that allows you to visualize a single mRNA transcript as a pointed dot. RNAscope allows for both chromogenic and fluorescent labeling and is compatible with a wide variety of samples, including formalin fixed paraffin sections, fixed frozen sections, fresh frozen tissue sections, as well as cultured adherent and non-adherent cell lines. ACD has two product lines, namely RNAscope and BaseScope. RNAscope targets the longer RNAs, which are more than 300 nucleotides, and the RNAscope probes usually consist of 20 ZZ oligo pairs pulled together. The shorter RNA targets, which are shorter than 300 nucleotides, or in between 50 to 300 base pairs, are visualized using BaseScope. And these probes are usually 1 to 3 ZZ oligo pairs pulled together. Both product lines are available as singleplex and multiplex on both manual and automated platforms. The primary feature of our RNAscope technology is the oligo-based double Z probe design. Each Z probe has a lower part that is 25 bases in length, and this is complementary to the target RNA, and an upper region, which is a 14 base tail sequence that has the pre-amplifier binding site. The upper and the lower parts of the Z probe are linked together by a spacious sequence. Two such Z probes must come together to create a 50 base specific binding site that hybridizes with the target region of interest. The informatics algorithm that is used to design this probe ensures that the oligonucleotide sequences are specific and do not cross-hybridize with any other sequence. The top of the Z is the base for the amplification structure. When two Z's hybridize, it creates a binding site upon which a preamplifier can bind and the amplification tree can be built. So let's take a look how the schematic looks. So This is a schematic showing the hybridization and the subsequent amplification of RNA-scope assay. Once the double Z probe binds to the target mRNA transcript, it serves as a foundation and binding site for the pre-amplifier molecule. Once the pre-amplifier is bound, it serves as a binding site for the amplifier molecules. And each amplifier molecule can further bind to multiple label probes. Label probes can contain an enzyme for colorimetric reaction or fluorophores that allow the visualization of the signal under a bright field microscope for colorimetric reaction or fluorescent microscope for fluorescence assay. This allows for a tremendous amount of amplification and signal potential, as a standard RNA-scope probe contains 20 such ZZ pairs forming 20 amplification trees. However, only a few ZZ pairs are needed to bind to the target RNA sequence to generate enough signal for visualization and detection. This signal amplification strategy provides high sensitivity to visualize single molecule of RNA in a single cell. If a single Z binds to the target mRNA transcript, the amplifier cannot bind, as it needs both Z's to provide a binding site. This helps to ensure the specificity of the probes and helps reduce potential background staining. The high sensitivity and specificity of RNA-scope technology provides unique advantage against the conventional fish. Another added advantage of RNA-scope technology is its multiplexing ability. In order to detect multiple mRNAs simultaneously, multiple amplification trees must be built. That being said, we must ensure the specificity of each probe. This is ensured by adding a unique tail sequence to the probes, which means to the double Z probe design, we add a tail sequence that is indicative of a channel designator. For example, a C1 probe has a specific C1 tail sequence that will only allow for binding of the subsequent C1 preamplifier, amplifier, and label molecules. Similarly, a C2 probe will have a separate and unique tail sequence, and so on for the other channels. Here is a brief overview of the RNA-scope workflow. RNA-scope assay is a slide-based assay and is intended for use on sample types similar to that used in immunohistochemistry or immunofluorescence. The assay starts with permeabilizing the sample with reagents provided in the pre-treatment kit. The pre-treatment enables unmasking of the target mRNAs, thus allowing the probe to penetrate into the cell and hybridize with the target RNA sequence. The probe is a pool of oligos that are designed using our established bioinformatics algorithm, which allows for target specificity. So one target, one probe per target. A series of amplification cascade then amplifies the signal, and RNA molecules are then visualized under the microscope as puncted dots. The signal can also be quantified semi-quantitatively or quantitatively using different image analysis softwares. ECD provides recommended sample preparation protocols and guidelines for most commonly used sample types, such as paraffin tissue sections, FFP, fresh or fixed frozen tissue sections, and cultured adherent and non-adherent cell lines. If you are working with unique sample type, such as whole mount, free floating, or bone, please feel free to contact ACD Bio for suggestions and guidance. Quantification of RNA-scope and base-scope data is possible with good quality images, preferably at 40x resolution. This can be done in both semi-quantitative and quantitative approach. Semi-quantitative analysis can be performed following the scoring guidelines, which is listed in the table from ACD. Quantitative analysis can also be done using high-end third-party software such as Halo from Indica Labs, or by open source software such as ImageJ or Cell Profiler. ACD technical notes and webinars are available to guide on the data analysis. The growth and adoption of RNAscope technology is best exemplified by the number of peer-reviewed publications. Since our first publication in 2011, there has been an increasing awareness of our technology, and currently we have over 2,800 peer-reviewed papers published in numerous journals, including many top-tier ones. Also, the RNAscope technology is highly relevant across multiple fields of research, with over 40% of our publications in cancer. Neuroscience and infectious disease are another two popular fields of interest. More recently, the incorporation of this technology into single-cell RNA-seq workflow is demonstrated through the rapid growth of publications using the assay to perform and spatially map single-cell RNA-seq data in tissue context. With over 80% of these single-cell papers in very high-impact publishing houses such as Nature, Cell, and Science. Now here, this is a summary of all the assays that are currently available from ACD. We have chromogenic singleplex brown or red assay and duplex assay on both manual and automated platforms. The multiplex fluorescent assay allows detection of up to 3 targets for V1 assay or up to 4 targets for V2 assay. And with the high-plex reagent kit, up to 8 or 12 targets simultaneously in a single tissue section. The major difference between the V1 and the V2 fluorescent assay is that V2 uses the opal dyes from PerkinElmer or Akoya Biosciences for signal visualization, whereas the V1 assay, as well as the high-plex assay, the fluorophores are conjugated and are included in the ACD assay kit. We also have some assays available on automation platforms like the Leica Bond RX or Ventana Discovery Ultra. For RNAscope, both the chromogenic singleplex and duplex assays are available on Leica and Ventana. The V2 fluorescent assay is currently available only on Leica. If your target of interest is shorter than 300 base pairs, it is below the detection limit of RNAscope, and in such situations, Basescope would be the right choice for you. Currently, Basescope is available on both manual and automation platforms. Additionally, to expand the portfolio, ACD Bio will be commercially launching a specific in situ hybridization assay to detect microRNA, silencing RNA, and antisense oligos very soon. So in summary, RNAscope uses a unique probe design strategy to minimize cross-reactivity in order to achieve high specificity. Currently, we have more than 26,000 catalog probes available. But new probes can be designed and made within 2 weeks for any target and any species. RNAscope provides higher sensitivity by improving the signal-to-noise ratio with the sequential amplification strategy and optimized assay conditions. For both RNAscope and Basescope assays, quantification is possible using semi-quantitative and quantitative approach. RNAscope assays has unique multiplexing capabilities with up to 2 RNAs for chromogenic platform and 12 RNAs for fluorescence platform. The Basescope assay can detect splicing variants and short sequence down to 50 nucleotides. And RNAscope assays can be complemented by immunohistochemistry or immunofluorescence for simultaneous RNA and protein detection on the same tissue section on a same slide. Now, let's move on to the RNAscope applications for viral research. RNAscope has the ability to detect a wide range of viral species such as DNA virus, RNA virus, as well as retrotranscribing viruses. Here is a list of viruses for which RNAscope probes are already available. All the novel virus for which we have designed the RNAscope probe, the newest member is the VnCoV 2019. Belongs to the coronavirus family. For the rest of this presentation, I'll focus on the different RNAscope application for the various group of viruses with a special attention on COVID-19. The RNAscope assay is an ideal assay for viral detections. The characteristic features of this technology enables one to overcome the various challenges that researchers face in the detection of viruses, such as first one is context. This in situ hybridization assay that can be used on various sample types such as paraffin sections, fresh, frozen, and fixed frozen tissue section allows for detection of any target while providing morphological information and viral localization. This can help researchers identify entry portals, replication sites, disease site, and therefore understand the viral dynamics. Secondly, sensitivity. The preamplifier and amplifier tree system is built to enable high sensitivity and detection of low viremia. This helps in detecting viruses at the early stages of infection and latent stages that present lower transcripts that and often present difficulties in detecting these viruses. Third, specificity. The patented double Z technology provides high specificity of the assay. This helps discern closely related viral species. Given the sequence is known, we can design probes for any species. Fourth, the design process is rapid, which serves as a huge advantage for emerging viruses without available antibodies such as the new COVID-19. The probes can be designed single-stranded and can be made strand-specific to discern various viral stages with hybridization to both sense and anti-sense strands to detect replication and resting stages. Now, let us start with the double-stranded DNA viruses. I'll focus on the HPV virus from this group. We do have a lot more viral applications from this group, but due to time constraint, I'll limit myself to one representative. Shown here are the commonly used methods to detect HPV and the advantages and drawbacks for each of them. Real-time PCR, which is considered the gold standard, is not very useful for routine screening since it can be technically demanding. DNA in situ has high specificity but lacks sensitivity. P16 is a strong surrogate marker for HPV, so the detection of this protein by IHC is cost-effective and practical for most histopathological labs. However, it is an indirect marker of the viral activity and has low specificity. The RNAscope HPV test combines the advantage of all of these methods. It has high specificity, high sensitivity, and is feasible on routinely available FFPE samples. And this provides visual detection of infected cells. It is a direct readout of transcriptional viral activity because it targets the E6, E7 oncogene. And several studies have shown that estimates of disease-specific survival and overall survival by the RNAscope HPV test were comparable to other assays. So now let's look at some research articles. So In this study, the specificity and sensitivity of the RNA-scope HPV assay was compared to HPV DNA-ISH and P16-IHC. Head and neck tumors were evaluated using target-specific probes for the E6 and E7 genes of 18 high-risk HPV genotypes using the RNA-scope assay. The authors found that RNA-scope was more sensitive than the DNA FISH and more specific than the P16-IHC, which they have mentioned in their article. Here is a study that uses RNA-scope to determine the HPV status of head and neck cases with discordant results from DNA-ISH and IHC. This study showed that RNA-scope detects transcriptionally active HPV in a discordant oropharyngeal squamous cell carcinoma that is P16 positive by IHC but HPV negative by DNA. Hence, in summary, the RNA-scope HPV test is a promising assay with 4 main advantages. It identifies HPV-driven cancers in a single assay as it detects clinically relevant HPV infections. Second, it permits visualization of viral transcripts in tissues and thus reduce the risk of false positive results, which is a potential risk with contamination of PCR-based assays. Technically feasible for routine testing in clinical laboratories as it uses FFPE tissue sections. And finally, the results are easy to interpret. Next, the retrotranscribing viruses. And for this, I'll focus on the HIV virus. Similarly, we do have plenty of viral applications from this group, but due to time constraint, I'll limit myself to one representative. Latent HIV is present even after long-term antiretroviral therapy or ART. ART does not eliminate viral reservoirs. The current hurdles in HIV or SIV research is the inability of the immune system to recognize cells harboring latent virus. This is a very interesting study involving a HIV patient who died with no detectable viral load. During the post-mortem examination, tissues were collected and RNA-scope was run. The clinicians had then identified HIV positive cells surrounded by infiltrating macrophages in the cerebellum tissue. In these images, HIV viral RNA was stained using RNA-scope-ISH with red color, and macrophage markers CD163 and CD68 were stained using immunohistochemistry with specific antibodies. Taken together, RNA-scope technology is sensitive enough to detect the latent HIV infections. Next, the RNA virus group, which includes the flavivirus such as Zika, hepatitis virus, and as well as the recently famous coronavirus such as MERS and SARS-CoV-2. Here is an example of the use of RNA-scope in detection of the recently emerging Zika virus. We were able to rapidly generate probes specific for several strains of the virus, and in collaboration with James Bryan at Texas, we were able to detect the strain PRVABC59, which detects the Puerto Rican, Asian, and Brazilian strain in mouse tissue infected with the virus, but not the uninfected tissue. So in summary, rapid probe design capability for emerging infectious disease to facilitate research is a positive point for RNA-scope technology. So this is another example. At the Center of Disease Control, CDC, researchers linked Zika virus to congenital microcephaly and associated this role with pregnancy loss. RNA-scope assay has been used to localize the replicative and genomic Zika virus RNA in brains of infants and placentas of women with pregnancy loss. The results suggested a direct evidence of Zika virus association with microcephaly. The researchers use RNAscope red assay where the viral RNA can be visualized as red dots. Together, RNAscope-ish utilized to understand localization and viral replication leading to downstream conditions of pregnancy loss. Another example. In Vanderbilt University, clinicians isolated a panel of human monoclonal antibodies from subjects previously infected with Zika virus. Isolate Zika 117 was one of the most inhibitory antibodies, as RNAscope-ish revealed an almost complete absence of viral RNA in mice treated with Zika V117 isolate. Hence, Zika V117 or similar human antibodies could be developed as a treatment measure during pregnancy for at-risk humans. Summary, RNAscope-ish used to validate a potential drug or therapy. Now moving on to MERS-CoV-2, which is a member of the coronavirus family. MERS-CoV-2 infection causes outbreaks in humans fueled by introduction of the virus from camels. A group of scientists from Albert House group showed that a virus vaccine, MVAS, confers mucosal immunity to MERS-CoV-2 in camels. RNAscope-ish demonstrated no significant lesions in vaccinated camels, whereas multifocal necrosis was observed in the non-vaccinated animals. Hence, in this study, RNAscope-ish was used to validate efficacy of potential vaccine to MERS coronavirus infection. Keeping in mind the global pandemic issue, a few minutes to talk about how RNAscope can be used to advance COVID-19 research. ACD offers SARS-CoV-2 specific probes to be used in tissues and cells to detect the viral distribution and infection by using specific probes against virus genetic material and replicative intermediate. We also have specific probes that will identify host cell receptor, such as ACE2 and the various proteases. Cytokine release syndrome, or CRS, associated with the SARS-CoV-2 can also be studied using the right combination of the RNAscope probes using multiplex assays. Applying the RNAscope technology to your COVID-19 research can provide new insights into the pathogenesis of SARS-CoV-2 and aid in vaccine and drug development. Further details on the RNAscope probes designed against the coronavirus outbreak in Wuhan, China from 2019. This probe was designed to specifically detect the spike protein of this novel coronavirus. This probe avoids cross-detection of SARS, MERS, and other coronavirus, Ebola virus, or HIV. It can be used in a variety of animal models, including human, mouse, rat, monkey, potential natural host, ferret, bat, and many more. This probe can also be used to study localization or infiltration of the virus in different tissues. Based on data which has been published so far, since the emergence of COVID-19 virus, the given list of RNAscope probes are now made available to the customer to study the pathophysiology of SARS-CoV-2 virus. The viral detection probes that target the sense and antisense region of the SARS-CoV-2 sequence, listed on the top row. Second, the host cell markers that have shown to be essential and aid in the entry of virus and facilitate the course of infection. Third, The inflammatory response markers are cytokines that were shown to be infiltrated in the lungs tissues of patients with severe form of infection or showed signs of acute respiratory disease syndrome. Spatial visualization of these immune markers allows researchers to identify the immune landscape at the site of infection. Finally, the histopathological markers that can be used to study the functionality and homeostasis of the lung, which is said to be primary organ infected by the onset of this infection. More probes are being made available with growing clinical knowledge of the viral pathogenesis. If you are interested in novel probes that are not listed in this table, please reach out to me or the local team for further information. Now, let's look at how scientists can use RNAscope probes with the currently available antibodies for the COVID-19 research, such as combining SARS-CoV-2 in situ hybridization with the ACE2 receptor antibody. Here I have listed two potential combinations which can be used for dual-ish IHC. Next, take a look at some of the recent publications on detecting SARS-CoV-2 using RNAscope technology. This preprint is from one of our pioneer researchers in China. In this image, the SARS-CoV-2 spike protein RNA can be visualized as red punctured dots in infected non-human primate tissues. RNAscope multiplex V2 assay was used together with SARS-CoV-2 specific RNA probes. The yellow arrow here indicates the punctured positive staining for the viral RNA. RNAscope can detect different degrees of viral distribution and active infection in different tissues, demonstrating high sensitivity and specificity. This is another article showcasing the visualization of viral replication in the respiratory tract of the rhesus SARS-CoV-2 model. Using RNAscope assay, it was confirmed that this virus infects the alveolar epithelial cells in rhesus monkeys, and the animals exhibited anamnestic immune response upon SARS-CoV-2 challenge. Taken together, RNAscope enable visualization of viral replication in the respiratory tract of these animals, which can be used for testing vaccines and therapeutics. Another very recent preprint from the US Army Medical Research Institute of Infectious Disease, where the scientist has used RNAscope technology to understand the pathogenesis of SARS-CoV-2 infection. They assessed multiple IHC antibodies and RNAscope-ish assay for viral detection in infected monkey kidney cells. Using the RNAscope RAID assay, on the upper panel, they detected the SARS-CoV-2 spike protein RNA positive strand using two different probes, and the replicative intermediate RNA negative strand in FFP cell pallets. Further, the RNAscope multiplex V2 assay was used to simultaneously visualize the spike protein mRNA positive strand, which is indicated as red signal on the lower panel, and replicative intermediate negative strand indicated by the green signal on the same panel but the right image. The same group has published an article where dual-ish IHC was used to visualize SARS-CoV-2 spike protein RNA and protein on the same FFP cell pallet. Using SARS-CoV-2 positive and negative strand specific RNAscope probes, researchers were able to detect the virus and visualize viral replication. The table here indicates the list of probes used in this study. Another preprint from a group of researchers visualizing the SARS-CoV-2 infection in placenta. The effects of COVID-19 in pregnant women are relatively unknown. This study presents a case of a COVID-19 positive patient in second trimester, complicated by severe preeclampsia and placental abruption. RNAscope Brown assay was used to visualize SARS-CoV-2 RNA in the placental tissue. The SARS-CoV-2 RNA staining pattern closely matched that of the ACE2 receptor, as seen on the Human Protein Atlas. In this study, RNAscope-ish analysis detected the SARS-CoV-2 RNA in the human placental tissue of COVID-19 positive patient in second trimester. Here, I have summarized the RNAscope tools which are of high demand and the recently updated ACD Bio web page dedicated for COVID-19 research. You can take a look. These are the recently developed COVID-19 flyer and the infectious disease publication list from ACD, which you can easily download from the website, as well as you can contact me or the local team to get a copy. With this, we have approached to the end of this presentation. I would like to thank you all for attending the webinar. Hope it was useful for your viral research. We will continue to be online for another 30 minutes. Please feel free to send the questions to all panelists who are waiting to answer your queries. Thank you.